Hi everyone, Dr. Tran here from Color Chiropractic in Bellingham, Washington. I am really excited to do this special interview for you guys. It's all around what my clinic calls a community clinic event. It's a day where we're actually providing service as a way to increase awareness and raise money for a local non-for-profit in our community. So we've done this for years, but we're bringing it back. And, this month on Saturday, March 30th, from 10 to 1, we're going to be raising funds for the Engedi Refuge. And that's who my guest is on our show today. So I'd like to welcome Aaron Newcomb from the Engedi Refuge. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Richard. It's great to be here. Thank you for doing this great event.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. I'll give them a little bit more detail, but really it's to increase awareness about organizations like yourself. So tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the organization.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So my name is Aaron Newcomb. My wife and I, my wife Leah, started Engedi Refuge back in 2011. Actually, we incorporated. For us, this is an important mission to provide the safety and soul restoration for victims of human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, we've targeted women who have been the subjects and objects of sex trafficking in
Mm-hmm.
North America. So, we were kind of nice middle class people minding our own business back in the 2000s. I had a construction business that was flourishing. My wife
Mm-hmm.
had a career. Our 4 children were growing up, leaving the home. They were college age and moving on with their life. And it was in that context in 2007 that we actually learned about human trafficking and specifically sex trafficking and its kind of dovetail relationship with prostitution, classic prostitution, and the whole arena, really a large picture of sexual exploitation that was replete within North America. We always kind of knew that there's prostitution out there, but we didn't know that teenage girls were actually being forced or coerced into this kind of a lifestyle, and it set them up for systemic and criminal abuse on a radical level, and it debilitated them going into their adult years. So 18 and older, they they had been so traumatized by criminal abuse and sexual assault that it made them dysfunctional. It interrupted their educational system, their emotional development, their opportunities for occupations going into the world in their adult years. And then it dovetailed with mental disturbance, mental illnesses, and personality disorders that made them unfunctional. So they became a significant component of the homeless community across the United
Oh,
States.
wow.
All shocking to us. What it rose up from within us was this great desire to help victims.
Huh.
At the time, there was a push for awareness. There was a lot, like, hey, this thing is happening. We kind of looking at it through a different lens of what it had been looked at traditionally, and law enforcement needs to know, educational systems need to know, parents need to know. And that is all true, but there was no answer that was really set in place for victims themselves. So my wife and I began to have this real growing concern for the victims, and what does it look like after they leave or after they're rescued in some way or another? What is the answer for them? And society didn't seem to have an answer at that time at all. So we did some research. We actually spent about 3 years researching and doing some volunteer work that enabled us to kind of condition our hearts and our minds to do the right thing,
Yeah.
or to do what's needed. And it ended in us envisioning a rather complex and holistic view of helping victims.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And Engedi Refuge is the brainchild of that research, and the contacts that we made and the people that we talked to, and it became something like what it is today, just very, very involved and life changing for victims.
It's pretty amazing. You and I had a chance to talk more about that, and you know, holistic is really our bag in terms of how we look at health. But then when we're looking at a issue like this, I mean, it does take more of a holistic approach. So, I mean, in terms of even, let's say, the proceeds that are being generated from this clinic, I'm assuming that it goes into that holistic approach. Can you talk about that more?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're funded almost entirely by the local county people in the county. They're concerned individuals, they're business owners, they're faith-based groups, churches, and whatnot, or small foundations, charitable foundations. So really, this is a community effort to provide an answer for this demographic, which is really unique. And the holistic approach. Let me just explain the program a little bit. It's very simple, but there's a lot of nuance to it. So it's two components. One is safe housing, and two is a program that has several components to it. It's deeply therapeutic, it's educational, and it's community driven or social restoration, basically. So everything kind of fits into to meeting this need of physical safety and then emotional stability, and then you know, a social re-engagement on a really healthy level, preparing victims of sex trafficking for occupational success. So really strength on their own. So there's a lot of personal strengths development. And so one thing that we would like to do, and you know, really to kind of funnel the funds from this particular fundraiser, is to help fund the activities, the therapeutic activities that we do throughout the year. So every spring, summer, and fall, we engage the ladies in outdoor activities, therapeutic activities that can include like hiking, boating, fishing, camping, and other activities outside, just enjoying the beauty of nature and developing personal strengths, physical strengths, overcoming fear, and enjoying nature around us. And of course, we're in the area in the Northwest where there's a lot of physical beauty. And one thing that we find from victims that they have not had the opportunity to do, I mean, say they've been in a kind of a controlled, you know, trafficking scenario where they're sort of, you know, deeply embedded in this world of crime, and they're being the subjects of abuse, that they haven't had the opportunity to enjoy some of the normal things that a lot of other people really enjoy, and it feeds their soul, like just enjoying nature. In other words, they haven't had a camping experience, or not one where they've been able to enjoy that experience and appreciate nature. They don't go on hikes for their own sole benefit. You know, if they're out in the woods, they're running from somebody, or they're being hurt, and it's really heartbreaking to understand the levels of abuse and the lack of enjoyment of life. So we introduce them to activities that seem normal and maybe not even, you know, that interesting, you know, for ourselves, because we're used to those things. But for them, it's a completely new experience to get out on a boat, to go fishing, to hike, and to see the mountains or the beauty, to get a view of the ocean or something like that. It's a brand new experience for them, and it feeds their heart and soul, and it prepares their body as well. So we would like to use these funds to really help those therapeutic activities that we do with them throughout the year.
That's wonderful. Wow. You know, I think that you and I were also talking about a gala that you're putting on. Is it next month sometime?
It is. It's April 13th. It's a Saturday. And it's right here in Bellingham. It's going to be at the Four Points by Sheridan. It's an evening event, which is a very, you know, it's an elegant dinner. So it's a great kind of date night thing. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of mingling. There's going to be an appetizer hour and mingling time. And then there's a program that we share after the dinner time, where we're bringing in a special speaker. She's actually a survivor of sex trafficking. Her name is Teresa Flores, and we have known her really from the beginning of our journey. I think we met her back in 2008, and her story kind of floored us, but she's been a friend and a mentor to my wife and I as we've developed Engedi Refuge all these years, because she knows from personal experience what's needed. She herself is involved in victim advocacy and restoration work. She's an author, internationally known author and speaker on this topic. And so she's taken her story and she's, you know, invested her life to help other survivors of sex trafficking flourish. She lives in Ohio. We're flying her in to speak to our group. This is going to be one of the best events in terms of human trafficking awareness north of Seattle that this region is going to see all year. And she's utilizing her influence to help Engedi Refuge raise funds for our program. And that's very generous of her. It's going to be a great public event. Everyone is invited, and it's real simple to register for that. I mean, really, you just go to our website, which is engedirefuge.com. Engedi Refuge it's a little bit different name, right? It's Engedi Refuge, REFUGE.com. And there's a registration, tab right there on the home page. It's very simple to do that. We need the community to come together for this, really to understand the issue, and then get behind this effort at Engedi Refuge to bring a real answer to victims of sex trafficking. And our whole aim has been to rebuild their lives. So we are deep in the trenches of doing this, and we literally are in relationship collaboratively with other agencies all over the United States. And Engedi Refuge has the highest success rate of keeping people from re-exploitation of any agency in the whole country. So we've been able to develop something that's very effective, and we want the community to know about that and to join us in supporting this. And Dr. Richard, your fundraiser or your clinic is just one really beautiful expression of being able to do that in an effective way.
Wonderful. That's great. Well, it sounds like it's going to be really exciting. We're really excited to be able to do this event for the Engedi Refuge. The thing is that, we've been doing a couple of these community clinics, and we decided to partner up with different healers in the community. And this, for this particular one, I thought it would be really great to team up with one of my chiropractor friends. His name's Daniel Esbach, and he's part of the Chiropractic Pain Relief Center off of Sunset. So he's actually going to be partnering up with us and doing a community clinic of his own at his clinic while we're actually doing ours here. Even if you can't make it to the event, maybe you can share that with somebody else. Hang up the flyers that we might include, in an email if you're receiving it from us. Just hang those up in your workplace. Or if you can't make it that day, come in and just make a donation. I think you might even be able to donate online. Is that even possible there, Aaron?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. At our website, it's very simple to donate online.
Good. And another thing that we're doing is Dr. Dan and I are actually, we're and my wife, Dr. Sue, we're actually matching funds that are donated up to $500. So everything that's coming in on that particular day or from this event, we're going to help to put our money where our mouth is as well too. So really, like I said, help us spread the word. If you're an established patient, or if you're even part of Dr. Dan's practice, you can reach out to them just by calling our phone numbers. Mine is 360-922-0626, but you can also reach Dr. Dan as well. Let's see. Is there anything else to add there, Aaron?
Oh, I think this is just really wonderful. This was a great example of the community coming together to help a good cause. And I think this is a really wonderful cause to occupy this space, because people feel so overwhelmed with the needs and the concerns of sex trafficking, and they don't know what to do. And we have found a very proactive way to meet real needs. There are people that are hurting in a dramatic way. And so the community's partnership with this, just being able to make a donation, be able to contribute in a way that you're being very proactive with a clinic like this, and Dr. Dan as well, we really appreciate it. And I think it gives people a sense of making a difference in this issue. And we're here to serve the community in that way and involve them in every way we can. So thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for everything that you do.